Out of a tight trading range Monday, hitting a new record high. For more on that and see if this rally is sustainable, let's ask Hilary Kramer. She's Chief Investment Officer at Kramer Capital Research. Well, Hilary, so twice the S&P 500 topped out at around just shy of 3030. This time it's broken above it. So does it have momentum? Well, based on what you've seen in the morning, how much higher is this going to go?
We could, with only a short amount of time to the year left, see another 3%. It's absolutely possible that will happen.
What'll fuel it?
Well, the fact that we're evidently not in any kind of recessionary environment. We keep hearing about maybe slowing growth. This earnings quarter. It's not good. It's negative from a year ago. People miss that. That's the bottom line, right? We're down, I think, 3.5% from a year ago. I mean, we still have, another 250 companies to go. But, and we hear about the consumer. However, there is no recession in sight. Rates continue to fuel the market. And Tiffany, for example, with the offer by LVMH to buy them and seeing this premium and this jump today up 31% tells me that there's still a lot of money sloshing around there that you can borrow. Not you, but these big corporations, they can borrow anything and make these bids and make these offers.
I see.
Especially for a company that's really had its day.
Okay, but Hilary, there are issues out there, geopolitical issues. The U.S.-China trade dispute still hasn't resolved. There's Brexit out there, yet again delayed, this time the EU accepting that delayed date. How should investors position themselves in this environment?
Finding the stocks that are still undervalued. I'm a bigger believer than ever in a lot of the growth stories, and then supplementing with some of those really interesting, tech plays that are out there. And I'm not talking about big FANG style tech like, Netflix, especially not talking about Netflix, where there's so much competition coming in, but some of the other kind of tech companies, and there's a lot of rotation that's happening with those.
Such as?
Well, we've seen with ServiceNow, it just climbed to unbelievable meteoric, heights, come down unbelievably significantly and fast, and now settling in and may come back up because cloud computing is the future, and the infrastructure to do cloud computing. Microsoft may be the leader at that, and I have great respect for Microsoft, but they're not doing it alone in a vacuum. There's different companies that help them that come in different aspects of cloud computing.
Infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. So many of those companies, it makes a lot of sense to look at.
In fact, even Amazon, even though it's defeated in that contract for the DoD against Microsoft, that stock is rallying. We've got Google up ahead with earnings today. The Fed meets this week. The markets almost seem to take it as a given that we've got an interest rate cut. So how important is this meeting, given your forecast for the S&P, another 3% rise, and the company?
Okay, it is so important. And the reason I'm just sort of chomping at the bit here is that there's a 90% probability that the Fed is going to cut 25 basis points. But with all this good news that the president is presenting to us, right? A decrease in terrorism because the head's been, chopped off, and all of this across the board. China-U.S. trade, resolution coming. Everyone's writing down, it's coming along. I mean, all of those reasons are enough for the Fed to say we are not going to cut. And if they do that, that will be very interesting. I'm just giving you that scenario because I could see the Federal Reserve gathering and saying, hey, it's so good, and all we're going to do is fuel inflation above 2%. The only thing that makes it doubtful that will happen is that the Fed has said if we're under 2% inflation and we're at 1.7%, we are going to cut rates. But let's hear what the Fed has to say when they cut rates.
Okay, so what
basis points.
Do you need to hear the Fed say in order to keep the rally going?
The Federal Reserve has to say that they're on a tightrope. They have to say that these cuts are making a difference and will be a significant help to the market, and that there's weakness they see, especially blaming sort of global weakness, and yet at the same time, they have to balance and figure out a way to weave in the fact that, we have, record low unemployment, so many of our numbers are coming back. And the ISM number, which was a big discussion, even that you and I had last month, ISM is coming out, but that's not until Friday. So even if ISM, anything below 50 is a concern, it's too late. The Fed decides, on Wednesday.
Right, on Wednesday we'll hear that decision.
2 p.m., right?
At 2 o'clock. Thanks for reminding our viewers, Hilary. Thank you. And our thanks to Hilary Kramer of Kramer Capital Research. I'm Fred Katayama. This is Reuters.